Hi everyone. Delighted to be here participating in a discussion of an area I've been passionate about for many years. I work at Factual, based in Europe. And a few words on Factual. We are a neutral data company that supports businesses primarily in the area of location across a diverse set of business areas, which covers enterprise, marketing, as well as a new initiative in the developer space as well. And we've coordinated here to kind of summarize some topics, I guess, during this session that ultimately give quite a holistic view of the opportunities in the space. And I think we know from even the last few days and our journeys trying to navigate the passages of Porto, whilst we've been on the hunt for some tapas and cigars, that location services are with us. They're being used and saving our lives some days. And, we've seen a journey over sort of, almost 10 years now in our business, watching, this evolution of smartphone penetration and, the increasing signals that are generating from users as they're moving around in their daily lives. I wanted to really get into a few numbers that I think are important. There's been an upward trend, I would say, in several areas when it comes to location and context being used through the mobile device. So, we're at the stage now where, 90% of smartphone owners are using location-based services. And from your own experiences, you'll probably know how prevalent the location feature has come in many of the services that you're using. One of the number one activities is searching for location-specific information, so it's infiltrating our search behavior as well. And actually searching for things near me, that hasn't showed any sign of slowing down over the last few years. All of this is really important because I believe it's changing and improving on an issue that's existed in location for many years, which is the topic about the density of the data. Two fundamental things have been improving in location. One is, working on the accuracy, and the second is making sure that if you're using this data for marketing, that it's truly going to scale in line with your business. So major milestones there. If you think about what happens when you tie place data along with lat-long data or sort of cell tower data from carriers, you effectively are able to start building observations and understanding circumstances of consumers in the real world. And actually, this data is sort of surfacing very unique insights, on a daily basis for us as a business. We now have our products deployed across 52 countries. We have around 100 million places that we've verified in the real world. And we offer those to customers like Uber, Facebook, and Apple. And more recently in our business, we started building opted-in profiles. We now have 300 million consumers that we see moving around in the real world, and they're generating about 200 billion signals or observations, as we call them. And we're basically structuring those observations to become easier for marketers to use. And one of the primary use cases that we have at Factual, but actually there are many companies doing great work in this space, is breaking down the opportunity of trying to talk to your customers in an intelligent way, message them. It breaks down into a real-time context, which we call our proximity product. And there's some real increasing sophistication with what brands can do in real time through programmatic technology on the geofencing side of the business, especially some of the more recent use cases that retailers roll out in things like funnel messaging. One of the areas that's advanced over, I would say, the last 2 to 3 years has been improving scale and location data, and the growth of mobile users in general has helped build a behavioral profiling mechanism based on people's visitation in the real world. So many of the customers that we work with are effectively have either tried and battle tested various strategies that you're seeing on the stage here behind me, and I think the key message is they're working. So these numbers here, we conducted some work with DigiDay, and we found that 64% of the 400 people that we surveyed were using more location data on their marketing activities than the year prior. And when we asked them, what does that look like going forwards? Well, even further momentum, 82% of marketers expecting they're going to be increasing work in this area. And I think the last figure here really probably nails it, actually, which is that we looked at a cross-section of thousands of campaigns and found, on average, park the CTR click-through rate aside for a second, on average, location data is improving secondary engagement impact on a 5 times lift across a base of over 1,000 campaigns. So really strong signal, and I know many of the other companies here have seen similar results over the years. we're really proud to have a very diverse ecosystem of partners. They may fall into the demand side platform, the agency or agency trading desk bucket, but all of them basically have a requirement to have an ease of access around this data. So that's something we've been working on over a whole number of years to make sure location data can be found in an easy way, structured and delivered through a platform of your choice. And I continue to see these companies innovating themselves with their own platforms and the use of location data as well. What I'm really fascinated about personally, and I know Duncan and others sort of share the vision in this, is what started off as a way to improve app consumer engagement quickly moved into being adopted for marketing use cases. But what's becoming clear is that there are a horizontal set of business applications that brands can take advantage of that are emerging out of the fact that there's now this scale. There is evidence within businesses that this data is driving results and a return on investment. So if you sort of look across things like behavioral insights, looking at the idea of even footfall attribution, which I'm going to touch on in a second, analytics, which I think Duncan's going to do a piece on straight after this, these are sort of signs of location data growing up and basically covering horizontal applications across the business. One of the things we've been looking at recently is the growing adoption of location data being used for more than just ad targeting. And we were sort of surprised by how big, again, it's a pretty substantial based survey here. 53% of marketers are using location data for the purposes of measurement now, so footfall attribution. And also they see it as a really important part in their overall effectiveness measurement activities of their campaigns. And that becomes really important when you think about a stat like this. 85% of retail sales are still taking place in the UK in a physical environment. And so that becomes really important when this online to offline journey, we want to basically help connect the dots and use cross-screen data at the same time and generate those insights. We're able to demonstrate this, just to finish off, in a case study with a very forward-thinking partner in Xaxis, who basically was able to demonstrate a 9 times lift by using Factual's place data and using its own algorithms and data. So a genuine possibility of getting results at scale across many markets. I would just say, to finish up, that there's a tremendous amount of innovation in this space, and we'd be keen to talk to you, any of these companies, and I hope you have some success with that. So I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandeep.